Good morning, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get this video started, which will give all of you guys a minute to hop on, as well as Scott a minute to hop on with us in just a second. So as you guys probably know from the event invite that I sent out to you, we're going to be doing a tutorial this morning with Scott, one of the educators from Bare Minerals. We're going to be covering the new original liquid foundation from Bare Minerals, which if you guys have not tried yet, is beyond amazing. This foundation is crease resistant, so it literally just like sits on top of the skin versus settling in. So for anybody who's dry or has had issues with like your liquid foundation settling in the past, this will definitely be the one that you guys will need. So I can't wait to demo this for you, and here comes Scott, so let's add him in.
It's so good to see you. You look great.
Good to see you. So do you. I felt uncomfortable being like totally naked on camera, so I did sneak
same here. It's a
Boss Babe Betty palette on the eyes.
fantastic. It looks really good. That color scheme is great on you.
Thank you.
Oh, well, I am excited to join you today. This is such a treat.
I'm excited too.
So, you know, Haley, for those of for your friends and your guests who don't know me, I am a makeup artist and trainer with Bare Minerals, and I've been working with the brand for over 7 years, and I cannot wait to share with you and with them some of my favorite products that I'm obsessed with right now. I heard you talking about the original liquid foundation when I was trying to join.
Yes.
Do you love it?
I love it. Leslie had actually snuck us some samples, so we've been using and knew we were going to love it long before it got here. But I am so dry, and it is the ultimate foundation if you have dry skin.
I know. It's the same thing for me, because usually I'm a mineral powder wearer. Like, it's been my love forever. It's what I typically use. But in the wintertime, now we have like an option.
Yeah.
Right, for hydration and all of that all the great minerals and clean ingredients.
And
you know what
coverage than Complexion Rescue. Fine.
Yes, exactly. So it has a little bit more coverage than Complexion Rescue, less than our Bare Pro collection. But I know that our lovers of Bare Minerals and clean beauty are going to love hanging out with this product. Yes. So what I thought I would do for you and for your guests is walk you through what I call my spring into clean favorites. Okay. So I have selected 5 products. So they're really easy to use. They're super fast. And they're something that everybody can use. And there's some classics and favorites in there too, like our Mineral Veil and our Warmth that a lot of your guests probably already have. Right. So we're going to introduce some of the old and some of the new, and give you this great look that's going to give your skin this nice healthy glow for spring. Do you want to follow along with me? Sure. Fantastic. So to get started again, you know, this is all about clean beauty. If you like a clean look that's filled with clean, natural ingredients, Bare Minerals is the brand for you, right? Right. It's, you know, it saved my skin back when I was a teenager because I had bad acne. And I used to use that mineral powder every day and still do almost 15 years later. So it's been a minute. I'm a veteran. All right. So what we're going to do, Haley, is we're going to get started here. Now, I've gone ahead and prepped my skin. I put on, of course, today I used our Good Hydrations primer, and, you know, use whichever primer that is silicone free of your choice. Of course, skincare is on too. Right. So that's on. So why don't we go ahead and get started with the foundation? Okay. I've got the shade Fairly Light, which ended up being perfect for me, and my Perfecting Face Brush. You came prepared, my friend. All right. So I'm using Neutral Ivory. Okay. And so I typically wear medium beige in the loose powder. And so I use Neutral Ivory. So that's one thing for everybody watching. If you're used to the loose powder, make sure you come in to be color matched, or reach out to us even in some way to find the right shade, because these don't match up perfectly. There you go. So what I like to do with mine here is I like to put a pump to the back of my hand first. Okay. So take a little pump. one pump for sheer to medium coverage, two for like a solid medium coverage. And I'm going to be using my Perfecting Face Brush. Now, I like to put the formula on my face first and then follow with my brush afterwards. So I'm going to take my ring finger here and just put a few dots, and you can follow along with me if you want.
Okay. I've actually got mine directly in the brush, and I...
Great. Go ahead. Try it out.
And I just...
And
stripes.
Yeah, it's really easy. So guys, everybody's watching, you know, listen, you don't have to wear foundation all over your face. You can put it just where you need it. If you're not a big foundation wearer, this is a great product for you. And a tip too, Haley, like, you know, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my mid 30s, and I've got some fine lines on my forehead. One of the best tips I ever learned was to not put too much foundation in areas that you have some concern. So yeah. For me, I put just a little bit up there, and then as you're blending, I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to sweep this out from the center. And what I love about this foundation, it's 88% naturally derived ingredients. It has prickly pear and peptides in it that's going to help reduce redness. So if you have rosacea, if you have any sort of skin concern, this is such a great product for that.
I'm super excited about that aspect of it because Mom and I have a lot of redness, especially in the cheek area. And so I'm excited to see how it improves over time with this.
Yeah, we see in 4 weeks, you'll see a significant improvement in the texture of your skin. It's great. All right. So look how fast that was. Like, you and I both got our foundation on in almost no time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see, like, I had I had a blemish right here, Haley, that's like been like plaguing me for weeks. And it took pretty good care of it.
I do too. Another thing I like about this one is I feel out of all of the collections, this one's probably the easiest to blend.
Yes, absolutely. It has a great grip on the skin, but with still feeling moist and hydrated. All right. So we've got our foundation pretty much blended now. The finish is naturally luminous, clean, vegan, great formula. All right. Now, we're going to move on to concealer. So it's our newest concealer, which is, of course, our original liquid concealer, which is going. So if you are a bare skin concealer lover, you're going to love this just the same, or if not even more, right?
Yes, for sure.
Have you used it yet?
I have, and I love it. It's just like the formula of the foundation, so it doesn't settle in at all. It really sits on top.
Yeah, exactly. I like to say it's less slip, more grip. So a little bit more. This is my go-to concealer for tired-looking under eyes. I can tend to get that. I work late sometimes. I got to be right back up in the morning, and so this is it. And I love to travel too, and so this is it.
This combined with the Bare Minerals eye mask, the Skin Longevity green tea.
Yes,
yeah, those make a huge difference too.
Talk about spring into clean. That'll like spring your eyes right up. I love it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some to the back of my hand, and for our friends on the line, you can do 3 dots underneath if you'd like with it directly, but I like to use a brush. So I know that we are going to be using this is like, for our friends on, this is a brush that I have like 3 of in my makeup brush. I could do an entire face with this brush. It is the best under eye concealer brush, in my opinion. I love it.
Great for that, and then you can also turn around and use another one to blend shadow into the crease also. So it's really great for everything.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to make my 3 dots. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm using shade 1W.
I fair 1W as well.
Awesome, because I used to use the light shade in our bare skin concealer, and so this one I feel like was a great easy replacement. And so what I like to do with mine is I like to kind of make like a half circle, but I know you've got your eyes already on. I like to put it on my eyelid too, especially because I can tend to get really red eyelids, and it looks like I didn't get the amount of sleep that I actually did.
I do it too, and then I top it with Mineral Veil, and I just use that as my sole eye primer these days.
Sure, absolutely. And then what I like to do too, and you're doing it perfectly, is always make sure you blend your concealer down into your foundation. And I like to do that by pressing this. because I see a lot of folks that just leave it around the under eye area, and then you kind of look like an alien in a way.
That, or I see a lot of people that like swarp it out and then they never bring it back in. So when I work with clients, I always say, make sure you sweep it out so you're even, but then I really work it in and press once I get to that inner corner. And I always bring mine down around the nose because hormonally we all kind of get a little red there, and I find I end up needing.
Yep. I got to do that too. That's where I tip, because, you know, I think just from touching my face sometimes, or, you know, just having that redness around there, especially in the wintertime, if you're prone to redness, you can get very red around the nose from blowing your nose, from sniffling, all that fun stuff. All right, so perfect, and it blends so well. You can also cover blemishes with this one too. All right, so I've got one. So I like to make an X around the blemish.
Okay.
And then I like to start to pat in small circles, and then just start to work it around and get bigger and bigger. Like I'm doing like a spiral and getting bigger and bigger.
So that,
like that
makes perfect coverage. I love that.
Yep. And so you don't touch the coverage over the blemish.
Right.
All right, perfect. So now we've got all of our complexion, our foundation, our concealer is on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set the look with a classic. Fabulous. So we're going to be using Mineral Veil. I'm using just the original loose Mineral Veil. Which one are you using?
I'm using the original loose, and I have my Supreme Finisher brush, which is the for setting.
Sure. All right. So I'm going to put just a little bit into the cap here using my same brush. And what I love about Mineral Veil, Haley, I call it my Instagram filter for the face. So, you know, like when you swipe over that filter and you're like, oh, that's better. That's what this one is. And it's talc free, it's silica free, and it has a very minimal ingredients in it, and it feels light. If you have enlarged pores, friends, this is going to be your best friend.
Definitely. And my super oily clients, I always tell them to do like the Mineral Veil sandwich, where they can apply it before the makeup and then put it on top. And that really does help with like that T-zone oil if you're somebody that struggles there.
I have never heard it called the Mineral Veil sandwich, and I'm going to take that with me. You taught me something today. And when I'm doing it, I like to press and roll. So I call it the rock and roll method, because it keeps all of your coverage where it's meant to be, and you're not buffing it away.
I am bad to buff all over the face, but every client I work with, right underneath the eye area, I always tell them to make sure that you press instead, because we just did a lot of work to put that concealer where we wanted it. You don't want it sliding all over the place.
It's also really great too if you have fine lines, if you have just texture in general. This is really truly one of the best. I give this to my makeup artist friends every holiday, because I give them the big one, the big deluxe guy for holiday.
And another thing too is I feel like with mask wear, Mineral Veil has become so essential, because you can tell who wears it and who doesn't, because this will keep that good coverage on underneath.
Absolutely. It sure does. And I know for me, I wear my mask every time I go out, and before if I forget my Mineral Veil, I can always see it on my mask. And I like to use reusable ones. So
it gives you that protection.
Yeah. And you know what? Fun tip too. You can put it on your lips as well. So your lipstick doesn't transfer onto your mask. So if you wearing a lipstick and it won't change the color at all.
Okay.
It's clear. And it'll stop your lipstick from doing that. And one more tip with Mineral Veil is I love to dust it on the eyelashes before you put on mascara.
Okay.
And you're here with me in the South. I know you're up in the mountains, and I'm down here in Charlotte. We know a thing or two about fried foods, right? So when you deep fry something, you put it in the flour first so that the egg will stick to it. It's the same thing. So you put the powder down first so that the mascara will really thicken up really nicely.
I'm going to try that tomorrow.
Yes. Deep fried eyelash. There you go. All right. So now we're going to, we've finished up our look. It feels like a satin pillowcase. And what's nice too is like Haley, you can see like I still have the glow.
Yeah.
And you do too. I can see it right on your cheeks. Perfect. All right. So you ready to move on to warmth, my friend?
I am. I have the warmth and my dual finish blush and contour.
Great. And I'm going to be using the loose warmth. So we've got two different ones. I love it because I know that you sell both of them, and I know your guests probably just want to know which one's for what. And I'm going to use the same brush as you. So I like to use the loose warmth because I like a nice terracotta tan, and it's really super blendable. But I love the pressed one also.
Yes. I find where my skin has so much redness that the pressed one is a little bit more of like that cool tone to make the perfect.
Yeah. You know what? You're right, actually. You know what? Because I don't have redness, but this is my favorite formula. That's a really great question.
Yeah.
A really great technique. Now, our friend says she cannot live without warmth. I feel you, Felicia, girl. Yes, same here. Now, when I'm doing warmth, I like to go from my ear to my nose and kind of go in one motion.
And then I always make, we've been taught for years, the E or the 3, depending on the
Yep. That's a classic. And if you ever want to do it, if you're wondering about contouring, my friends, you know, the easiest way to do it is actually kind of work up like this, and it'll find the underside of your cheekbone naturally. So, and then you know what? It's a great eyeshadow.
It is. That's my lazy dust it all over. That and the Beige for Days blush are like the 2 greatest eyeshadows to just put all over.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we're just touching up here, and then. Yeah, and it's so quick and easy. You can just use warmth and not really have a lot of care. You know, you can just kind of go around with it.
Clients want to do blush and skip bronzer, and I tell everybody if you're gonna pick one, I would rather see you use bronzer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love it. All right, and then so now we're gonna finish off with our last product. So product 5 out of 5 here, which is our blush. Which shade are you using today, Haley?
I have Beige for Days. What do you have?
I have Pretty in Pink.
Okay.
So I look good in the pink. I typically will choose a pink because they have cooler features.
See, and this goes back to me with the redness. I always go for like that beigey taupe shade.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have
for sure.
Tons of different shades for everybody watching, so you can find whatever works perfectly for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm using my Blooming Blush Brush, which if for our friends watching, if you don't have the Blooming Blush Brush, you are missing out. This is an Allure magazine winner for the most innovative blush brush. It's the perfect amount of coverage. I like to put a little bit on the top of the brush and on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get a little bit of work for both. Tap out the little excess. And my tip is hold 2 fingers beside your nose. And where your 2 fingers end is a good place to start your blush.
And this is like the ultimate brush because it does the work for you. Like for people that are wanting to try to learn how to contour, I always recommend like between these 2, it kind of takes the work out and it will just naturally put it on the way you needed it to go on.
100%. And you know, blush is one of those steps I just can't leave the house without. You know, if you want to touch up throughout the day, I always recommend save your pressed powder and break out your blush or your bronzer and a lipstick. That's the look of health. That's the look of bright skin.
Yes.
Because if you just keep on caking on powder, it just makes your skin look really heavy.
Yes, and I was gonna sneak in one more product because I can't
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna do that on the diffuse highlighter brush. And I just can't live without some highlighter. I felt awkward this morning starting out without any.
Which color are you using, Haley?
3 is my go-to, always.
Always, absolutely. And our friend Cheryl said the brushes last forever. They do, absolutely.
I have some that are like the, my usual blush one is the fun like gold Christmas packaging from years ago.
Oh yeah, I love the limited editions we do.
They will last an eternity.
Yes. So literally with these 5 products and these 5 brushes, you will have an entire new routine for spring, full of clean beauty. And these are just fantastic, easy going products. But the new original liquid collection, you've got to get your hands on it, guys. 19 ingredients, great coverage, naturally luminous, vegan. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, right?
It's the best foundation we've ever had, hands down. But that's what I love about Bare Minerals. I feel like the new launches they're not always the first company to come out with something, but when they do come out with it, it's the best.
Right. We work through the kinks and there you go. So by the time it gets to you, it's good.
For sure.
Absolutely. Your skin looks stunning.
Thank you. Yours too.
It looks so good, and it's all about that brightness for spring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're getting the light at the end of the tunnel is here, and we're about to start getting out a little bit more, and might as well let that skin shine, right?
Absolutely.
So Haley, I appreciate being with you, and thank you so much for showing me. Now I know, is there something special for your guests that you want to talk about? Maybe
something special in store today. We're open until 5:30. Plus online, I set it up for you guys this morning, so the coupon code works either way. You can shop all the products that Scott and I used today, from the new original, the concealer, mineral veil, warmth, and any of these brushes that you guys need. You can use the code LIVE in all caps, LIVE, and take 15% off your total purchase. And today,
that's awesome.
Come in and I will color match you to whatever color you need.
Oh, perfect. And you know, the color matching is so important. And I know you are an expert. You know Bare Minerals in and out. And so I know our friends that are watching, you probably know Haley already, but she's going to get you taken care of and give you all the hookups that you need.
We will.
So, and one day, Haley, I'm going to get up to Franklin and I'm going to see you, and we'll do it live together. Perfect. Well, thanks so much for having me on, Haley. It's been an absolute treat.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. And I hope to see you soon.
Sounds good. Bye.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
And one last thing before we hop off, you guys, is I'm going to be putting on a lip color just to wrap up our look. I have got our new Buxom Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Hush Hush. These are amazing, and they are selling so fast. These will also be included into your coupon code if you're interested. So it's like a giant pencil, and you guys know that I love to fill my lips all the way in, then put my lipstick on top. So this just makes it that much easier. So I'm just going to start out and fill all the way in, fill the top in as well. And if you guys have not been in yet to see the new Buxom products, you have got to hurry in. These are amazing. Like, this color alone is gorgeous to be worn. Then I'm going to pop on the shade Influencer, which is one of the new Buxom. It's a hydrating lipstick that also plumps and leaves plenty of color, as long as you know, I like to pair the two, and then I don't touch up my lips all day long. So I'm just going to pop the shade Influencer on top. And now we are ready for the day. I thank you all for joining me, and I'm so glad you could join in, and I'm so thankful Scott could be here. This was so much fun, and feel free to come on by today and take advantage of that 15% off. Bye, you guys.